Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today I have what I hope to be the last iteration of the input systems. So in the past you can see kind of down in that area, you can see behind that storage slice there's a finished one with a first item token motor attached to it. And that's pretty mad. That one took a very long time to make. Then there was that guy over there, which actually I can probably go check that one out because this one is pretty important. This was basically the big step in where I realized the big flaw with it. And the flaw was that, first of all, things were extremely overcomplicated. And second of all, we weren't really doing that much with the items. All we were doing was seeing if they were unstackable or not. If they were stackable, send them to shulkers. If they weren't unstackable, send them to box loader. And it kind of just cascaded through down there through a bunch of steps, which is perfect. But the part that I really improved was the MIS and bulk input, so the direct inputs for those, and basically just a bunch of the other stuff going around. So this one is not working; it's very unfinished, and you can see it is quite tiny, which is good. I can show this one really quick actually. So this is the front section of that. But you can see there's some logic down here. It's essentially the same one that I released a while ago, just with some tweaks added to it. Like a better system for the switching of that, and just different logic gates attached throughout it. But it's quite large, I really think, for what it's doing, and I thought that it could be condensed a lot. The only thing I did like about this one is that you had the all the outputs basically on one half of it, and I think there was one more here for the empty boxes, which isn't a big problem, but everything was mainly on one side, and that's what made this here really nice, is that you had all 5 outputs in one spot. And yeah, this one is finished, but it's not great. Basically what would happen is I'd start recording a video, I would go through the features, realize a flaw, scrap the video, start over. And that happened a good 3, 4, 5 times. Yeah, basically until I got to this point. I haven't actually recorded a video for this yet, so this is my first time going to be recording this. But I'm going to hope that it goes pretty smoothly. You can see that it's very simple, and it is pretty tiny and very compact. There's not too much air in here. I mean, there's definitely air, but it's not the biggest thing in the world. So I guess I should kind of explain what this does. So in these 2 chests here, you're basically able to put in items, shulker boxes, stackable, 16 stackables, basically anything you want can go into these chests. And there's a system down here that basically checks to see if it's a shulker box or if it's not a shulker box. If it's a shulker box, it will get sent to a shulker box fill level sorter, which sorts it based on what it's filled, so completely full, partially filled, or empty. If it is an item, though, it will go over to an unstackable filter, see if it's unstackable. If it's unstackable, send it to unstackable. If it's stackable, send it to a shulker loader. Shulker loader will break that box whenever the item flow is kind of stopped for a little bit, and then send that shulker box up there. The partially filled boxes from the shulker sorting will go up to there. The completely full boxes will go to bulk, and the empty boxes will go to empty box storage. And that's basically what this does. There's a shulker box over here, so if you just have items, you can just fill that up. But yeah, and there's a button here if you need to break it manually. Storage thing here, so for that, and then unload to buffer, or unload buffer to unloader. These 3 lamps right here indicate how full the buffer is. So each of these lamps indicates one. Have I built this completely wrong? Yeah. Okay, not completely wrong, but I'm a bit of a dum-dum for that one. That doesn't, thankfully, require too much. Just that. No. Okay, I almost. Okay. Sorry. Now it will basically only turn on each light when the buffer is full. So if you get one item, it'll turn on the first lamp. If you fill up this entire double chest here, this hopper, and one item in this chest, it'll turn on the second light. And if you fill up that entire double chest, there's two double chests, the two hoppers here, and then this one has to be up to signal strength. I believe I said it's at 10 for it to actually turn on. So that will basically, when that is completely full, it's telling you that, hey, you really got to unload. And basically the reason that we have that is I realized that some people didn't quite understand that, and I'll go down here to explain it a little bit better. But basically the first item type unloader by Glotz here, it'll assign shulker boxes based on the first item. So if you take something like this, it'll take one torch out, map that torch to a little set, and then send this box, unload just the torches from it. So then you have your one torch in the set, and then you have those torches that got batched and sent out, and then it breaks the box, sends the box over to the filter, takes out the first item, we get that comparator, and then after we got that, it detects that, hey, the torches stopped working, and it takes the torches out, and then it does the same thing. The comparators, yada yada yada. It's pretty cool. It took a long time for them to get this to work, but it's finished now, and it's very reliable. Along with a pause feature, which is pretty cool, so you can basically just flip a lever and it'll stop wherever it's doing. And yeah, it's really nice. But the buffer is basically so if you have, say, I don't know, a shulker box of just stone that you really want to quickly throw into the storage system, but you don't want the storage system to start running this first item type in order because that does get quite laggy running it constantly. It is really laggy actually, and that's the main reason why we have a buffer is that unloading items into storage is really fucking laggy. So we don't want that. So what the buffer does is it basically just keeps some boxes in there. So basically, once it builds up a little bit, then you can have a dedicated time slot where you unload the buffer to the first item type unloader and let it all run. Okay. I believe that's all I need that down there. Okay. So yeah, this button here unloads the buffer, so that does what I was explaining down there. So if you press that, it'll basically just pull items from the buffer down into this water stream to the unloader. Pretty simple. And it'll just, whenever there's items flowing through here, it just keeps a little set. And it remembers that. So when there's items flowing through, it just keeps this hopper unlocked. So more boxes can flow through. Yeah. Okay. And then over here we have our bulk input and our multi-item sorter input. So these are kind of interesting in the sense that they're basically separate from the rest of this, but kind of not at the same time. So MIS input, basically what this does is you can put items in here that you know you have sorted into a multi-item sorter. So say like you have all your different copper variants, you could just dump in like a block of copper or a shulker box of copper in there. And what it does is it sorts out that shulker box, yada yada yada. Same thing basically is that. Sends the shulker box down here to here to get unloaded, and then all those items get funneled through. The normal items will get sent through, I believe, unstackable sorter. No, not yet because they need to come down here. Then they go through this. Then they go through the unstackable sorter. Okay, I thought I forgot there. And then they go down, out, up, and into this, which this is by Rapscallion. It's called an item batcher, and basically all this does is it just batches items in groups of 16, or yeah, 16, right? 16, 7, yeah, 16, so that they can just all be in one group and get picked up by the hoppers for the multi-item sorter reliably enough. Obviously, this isn't really needed, but I thought it was kind of cool, so I added it. And it added like a block. So I mean, realistically, you could just have a dropper, comparator, piston, and two um, observers like we have over here or something like this. But, I mean, then it wouldn't be as reliable, but it doesn't really matter because it's just going there. I mean, that's kind of stupid now that I think about it, but it's cool, it's interesting. And then empty boxes, of course, are also sent to somewhere. Where are they sent to? Empty boxes get sent down into empty box storage. Bulk input is a little bit different. So what this does is it actually, you can put in shulker boxes only into here, please. I believe it does have a filter system. Maybe? Yeah, so we filter out shulker boxes from normal boxes here. And items get sent here, up to the shulker loader. Actually, no, they get sent here, which takes them. Oh, I see. Well, that's for something. Oh, that's for the duh. Okay, because this is a piston. Yep. Okay. Sorry, I'm forgetting some things that I did. I built this a while ago and just started this video now. Items will get sent to shockbox loading. Yeah, the only problem with that I miss is that stackable sorter. But I'm gonna imagine that you aren't sending shulker boxes of tridents to your bulk storage because no one's really that dumb, I don't think, to put that in there. I hope not, at least. But that could happen. So don't do that because, I mean, it's not really going to cause that big of a problem, but it'll eventually slow down the first items of the water, which isn't a big deal, but they'll still get sorted out as unstackables. It's just more annoying. And if you put full shulker boxes in here, they'll get sent through. If you put in partially filled boxes in here, they'll get sent through to bulk as well. But if you put an empty box in here, that will actually break the system, the bulk system that I'm planning on using. So we don't want to have empty boxes going to the bulk storage. So we have a system down here to check to make sure it's at least a partially filled box. If it's empty, it again just gets sent down to empty box storage. And then if we flick this, this will basically, it changes some stuff down here, so it actually turns on this redstone line, which unlocks some hoppers. No, it doesn't. It locks this hopper here. So now any items that you put into the here, so any shulker boxes that you put into here, will get sent down, and then they'll get sent back up to the buffers. So this way you can send completely full shulker boxes to the buffer if you'd wish. So if you had a shulker box completely filled of something that you knew wasn't in the bulk storage, you could just turn that off, throw it in here, and then wait for it to go through into the buffer, and then turn it on again because, I don't know. And I think that this only applies to this chest. This switch has nothing to do with this chest. It's completely separate. So these two are their own circuit, and then that one's a completely different thing. If that makes any sense. I'm not sure if any of that made sense, to be quite frank. Hopefully it did. I just want to go over the outputs real quick. So unstackables come out here. Batched items for the multi-item sorter will come out here. Here we have to the unloader. So when the buffer gets unloaded, this is where all those boxes go. Down here we have empty boxes, and over here we have completely full boxes, or boxes that are partially filled with one item type going to bulk. And yeah, I think I managed to fit this in a very tight form factor, actually. I thought I was going to have to expand this out 2 blocks to get this whole system here for the timing, which basically all this does is it checks to see if an item comes through the system. If it does, then it just turns on a little clock that keeps that light on and keeps chunk loading on, which is here. So yeah, I can kind of show this. So let's say we take a cake, put our cake in here, we'll see that light turns on almost immediately. And we should see out here in unstackable. Yep, that's the cake. That's how easy that was. Okay, if we place in a empty box, so shulker, Just give it a cyan box for the heck of it. And we come way down here, I think. No, down. Yep, here. Yeah, that was pretty fast. There it is. If we put in a partially filled box, so shulker box. Yep, just one redstone in it. That will get sent through, and we'll see the first light of the buffer turn on here shortly. Just takes 1 minute for it to get up there because it's kind of a long distance to check all those things about the boxes, but yeah, there you go. And if we check the chest here, yep, lime shulker box with the one redstone dust. And here I can actually show, place that guy in there, and we press our unload buffer. Boom. And same box. A cool thing about this is when you press the button to unload the buffer, it will actually keep the light illuminated while the buffer is unloading. So basically, whenever this light is on is when the buffer is unloading. There's just a signal that gets taken out from there that turns on that lamp. It's pretty simple. It decos, obviously, not too big here. This manual shulker box loading can be a little bit unreliable when you don't use the button. Oh, sorry, because when you press the button, it actually closes the trapdoor, and that makes sure that the shulker box goes to this hopper. But if you happen to not have that, or you happen to have it, you know, happen in the wrong tick, it doesn't appreciate that, so it kind of breaks. Yeah. There's not too much in here that would really be subject to change over the future of what I need. I hope. I don't think so. This is kind of like this marked off every checkpoint that I had in my, you know, kind of storage input to need list, I guess, if you will. The only thing I don't have, obviously, is the logic for the buttons, which I did actually have finished on this design. So, like hopper locking, chunk loading, and pause system, or pause the first item type unloader, but I would not be releasing this because this is completely broken. Just with these two things, everything else still works fine, but it's just annoying as fuck. So we're not gonna do that. Sorry if I sound a little bit sick. It is midnight, and the clocks are about to go back an hour, so I'm not too fond of that. Actually, yeah, the clocks are about to go back an hour in like a couple seconds here. Hold up. Oh shit, here it goes. 12 a.m. Now we have a whole hour, and then it's still going to be 12 a.m. Yay! So this hour doesn't exist. I'm in an hour that does not exist. That's cool. Yeah. There's not really too much else to go over, I think. If you have any questions, feel free, leave them in the description. Yeah. I mean, really, I have a Discord server, Haystack. It's a multiplayer, you know, SMP with the CMP. If you guys want or are interested in that, you can check out the video I posted, my last previous video about the Haystack server. I'm going to be posting updates on there pretty frequently. I don't really have a video planned right now. I mean, there's a ton of farms up on it, but we're kind of in the midst of designing just all the starter stuff like tree farms, shulker farm, iron farm, etc. Shulker farm. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the server. It's pretty active right now. There's like a good 3 to 4 people every day online, which is nice. But yeah, it's a good small community if you're interested. So yeah, feel free. I'll leave a link to the Discord in the description. But yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If not, I'll leave a Litmatic to this in the description. I'm not gonna leave a world download because a lot of these things in this world download are cracked. So not cracked, but like broken. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, again, leave them in the comments. I said that 3 times now. I'm gonna stop. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.